Welcome to another video. In this video we're going to look at the various patterns that can be used when you're conducting music where there are 6 beats in the bar. And it depends on the speed of the music, the tempo, and also the mood of the music as to which one you're going to choose. One basic principle though is that it's always 2 groups of 3 when you're looking at the 6 beats. So there'll be a first 3 and then a second 3 as you're looking at. And if you look at the music, sometimes you'll see 6/8 and sometimes it's 6/4. I don't think I've ever seen 6/2, but that would be a possibility as well, I suppose. So remember, an eighth note is shorter than a quarter note. So 6/8 is going to be quite quick because it's half notes that you're going to be putting for each beat is going to be a half. It tends to be faster, and the music is actually lighter generally as well. It just feels fast and lively as you're going through. If it's a 6/4 beat, then 4, a quarter, is longer than an eighth. So the 4 beat is going to be a slightly slower one that you're going to be having, and it's often a more solemn mood as you're going through. Okay, so the basic one, although I don't use it very often, is where you have 3 beats on one side and 3 beats on the other side. So you're going to go, your first beat is always down, and then you're going to go off as if you're doing your 4 beat one. You go to the other side of your body to where you're going to have your upbeat ending. So you go 1, 2, 3. So you do 3 little bounces, 1, 2, 3, and then you come to the other side and go to 4, 5, and then our 6 always needs to be coming up. Our final beat always has to come up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we go through it like that. So let's have a look at hymn 117, Come Unto Jesus, and try that out. You'll see in this one that the end of I'm just going to sing one line, and the end of that, the last syllable, is actually really going on your upbeat. So you need to kind of carry on extending your arm. If you need to do a couple of bounces out just to show the different beats, you can do that as well. But it's important that we end for the cut-off on the outside. So we're going to do our preparatory beat to start, and then we're going to do a cut-off at the end. Come unto Jesus, ye heavy laden. Okay, and we do a cut-off like that. So that's the basic pattern for a 6 beat. You can use it for 6/8 or for 6/4. Another thing you might want to do though, because it's 2 sets of 3 beats, is you actually do a 3 and then another 3. So we do this generally when it's a slower one, like we'll use 117 again, Come Unto Jesus. And so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then a small 1, 2, 3. So this one's really easy. I tend to prefer this one especially for slower ones. So it's exactly the same as when you're doing a 3/4 time. We just do the second one to be a bit smaller, just to show this was the start of the bar, and now this is the end of the bar. So let's do Come Unto Jesus with that one. Again, our preparatory beat, and then we'll have to end in the same way as before. Come unto Jesus, ye heavy laden. Okay, and then you can end like that. That's generally my preference for a 6/4. If I'm going to do all 6 beats, I tend to like that one. But whichever one you feel most comfortable with is, of course, what you want to be doing. Another one that you can do for these, for a 6-beat pattern, is to do an altered 4-beat pattern. And this would generally do if it's a slower hymn. And also, some hymns, the rhythm is actually, we have like a long and a short, and a long and a short beat as we're going through. So those 3 beats, there's one which is like long for the first 2 beats, and then there's a shorter one for the 3rd beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that kind of rhythm. And what we can then do is we can do a 4-beat pattern, but we pause on the 2nd beat and on the 4th beat. So we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, I should really do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will depend on the feeling of the hymn whether this would be an appropriate one to do. So as an example for this one, let's look at hymn 308, Love One Another. So it's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to have our preparatory beat, and then we're going to go through. As I have loved you, love one another. Okay, so for a hymn like Love One Another, that's a really nice one because it captures that long, short, long, short. We call it a dotted rhythm where you've got a longer note and then a shorter note as you go through. So that one works quite nicely. Okay, but sometimes you have a faster hymn, which is a 6-beat one, and it's generally 6/8, and then you generally want to probably do just a 2-beat rhythm, so down and up and down and up, the same as the 2/2 pattern that you did. And it's really, so we have short notes that are making up the first 3, and then another 3 sets of short notes for the second 3. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's look at hymn 230, Scatter Sunshine, for an example of this one. You could do the altered 4-beat one with this, but it's a little bit fast, so it feels like you're just being like rushing with it. So it's just easier to do a 2-beat as you go. Again, we've got our preparatory note. In a world where sorrow ever will be known, where are found the needy and the sad and lone. Okay, so can you imagine doing that one with the in a world where sorrow, or in a world where sorrow. It's just too quick. So we want to do the more basic 2-beat pattern, and that gets us through quite nicely. So really, as you're going through, you need to think about what's the mood that you're trying to create and what is appropriate for this hymn. Sometimes it is a more lively hymn, and so you need to be showing that, but sometimes it's appropriate rather to be using 2, because otherwise you'd just be rushing too much and look uncomfortable and unnatural. We're trying to communicate all the time with the congregation, and if we look like we're uncomfortable and unnatural, they won't feel comfortable singing. So you want to do what will fit the mood and also what you feel comfortable with.